Align with the Massage Business Mama is the product of two massage school besties deciding to take a leap and try something new. It's morphed, it's shifted, it's grown. But at the core, it's Ali, a massage business coach, and her occasional sidekick, Becca, two therapists committed to elevating the field.
And now, Breakroom Banter with Ali and Bex.
Hey, Ali.
Hey, Becca.
Oh, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah. So another episode of Breakroom Banter where we talk about all the kind of weird stuff that comes up. Anything come up for you this week in your practice?
Yeah. So we have been living through this government shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know about you, Becca, but I have one client who's been affected. She has been working with, she's not working. She hasn't been getting paid. But she's a regular client who's been coming to see me for years. And I made the decision that I was going to postpone her payments. So this was the second time that she's come to see me since the shutdown started. And we just have a little asterisk next to her name for when she comes in again that she's going to owe for past sessions.
This is so crazy because this was like exactly what I wanted to talk to you about this morning.
Oh, really?
Too. Yes. And I mean, I guess it is like top of mind because it's like, 38 days that we've been in a shutdown. It's affecting so many people. And like, I wanted to talk to you about like how, as massage therapists, do we move forward with taking care of our clients who, might really be financially affected by this. And it sounds like you're like, got a tab system going on for those strong clients, right? They're not the clients.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, this is not a client that I am just newly establishing a relationship with. This is someone who I've known for years and worked with for years. So there's a level of trust. I don't know that I would recommend doing this with everyone unless you are willing to write off some of your work, which, I'm also an advocate of at some point donating treatments to different causes that I feel strongly about. So if, you're okay with writing off some of your work because you're not sure if you're going to get paid back, I mean, that's another way to approach it. But I would just say like going into it, if anyone else were to choose to do something similar, make sure that your expectations in your mind are clear about whether this is charity or this is just a loan that you're giving to a client that, you trust and know it'll come back to you.
Yeah, I've thought about this like kind of a lot lately because I'm like, okay, as we go into 2026 and there has been just a lot of job loss. I know that I've had clients who have experienced job loss or have family members that have experienced job loss through, all the federal changes. And like, I was thinking about raising my rates.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, maybe that's not the most appropriate thing to do to support my community. And should things get worse, like, how do I continue to support my community, but also continue to make sure I can pay my bills, And it's just, I think it's something that like needs to be mindfully addressed and premeditated. Like, don't just wait for everything to fall apart. Maybe have some of those strategies in place. So like if clients do come up and express concerns, you kind of have some other options maybe.
Yeah, you've thought through ideas in your head about how you're going to handle different situations.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I have clients that have like 86 treatments, on the books over the last however long. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a client where I would 100% be okay with being like, hey, I got you for this package, or like, you can get me back later or something like that. So yeah, this is really good to keep top of mind for sure.
Yeah. Well, and something that you brought up too, that plays into something else I've been thinking about is like, you said that you were thinking about increasing your rates because you want to make sure that you're staying on top of your own bills. We're in a very precarious position right now in terms of the whole reason that the government's been shut down, these health subsidies potentially going away, a lot of massage therapists are going to be greatly affected by the loss of health subsidies. And I have a bigger concern about our industry as a whole, because I think, oftentimes we lose massage therapists to other occupations because they want to have health insurance. And, the open market has been a huge source of, I believe, keeping massage therapists in the industry, because you are able to afford
I agree.
health insurance. And, I think it's going to be a bad thing for our industry.
Yeah, I mean, that I've been that I've been going to school to kind of develop some other skills that might be useful in other sectors. COVID was a big eye opener for me when, I was working for somebody else and then all of a sudden furloughed, and I felt like I didn't have a skill set that could provide for me. So I was doing Instacart and DoorDash and all that stuff, and it was really frightening.
Yeah.
I think at this point, like, massage is so fulfilling. We get to help people through their pain journey. We get to be a really trusted resource through so many different stages of their life. It is something that's extremely lacking in our world, this connection, right? That we have this intimate connection and trust. And so that's a huge, you talk about like job fulfillment. It's such a fulfilling job. But I do think it is important, and I feel grateful that I've kind of delved into this digital space to have some variety for when maybe the foundation gets a little unsettled. So what other things can you do to generate income, to supplement with health insurance? If, I feel so grateful I have a partner that has great health insurance and I get to be on it, but I have clients that have their own businesses and they're like, my health insurance just went up to $1,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Well, and I've been thinking a lot too. And this actually ties into something else I wanted to talk to you about today. I've been thinking a lot about when I went to college and when I graduated from college and I was trying to get health insurance as a person that didn't have an employer that was providing health insurance for me. And I remember I contacted, it was like 5 different insurance companies about getting health insurance, and all 5 of them denied me. And do you know the reason that they denied me, Becca?
What?
So a couple of them denied me because I had gone to Africa and I had blood drawn. And so they were concerned about my blood because I had been exposed to needles in Africa. That was a couple of them. But the main reason that they denied me was because in college, I went to the free clinic and I was there for, I don't know, something, I was cold. I had a cold. I needed like an antibiotic. I don't know, something. I was going for something. And the doctor asked me like, well, how have you been feeling lately? And I said, well, I've been struggling. So my uncle had just committed suicide. And I was like, I'm just struggling. My uncle killed himself and like, I'm having a hard time. And he said to me, he said, well, I think we should put you on an antidepressant. And I was like, I really don't think I need to be put on an antidepressant. Like, I don't think that I have depression. I think that one of my best friends just took his life and is no longer in my life and I'm grieving. And he was like, no, like we should put you on an antidepressant and here's a script for an antidepressant. And so he gave me the script. I didn't think it was worth it to argue with him about this.
Sure.
He gave me the script. Yeah. I mean, I was like 19.
Yeah.
He gives me the script. I never fill the script and don't think twice about it until I graduate from college. I'm looking for insurance and I cannot get insurance because at one point a doctor prescribed me an antidepressant that I never took. So these are the type of things that before we had Obamacare, these are the type of things that were considered pre-existing conditions. Like you know,
That were barriers to actually getting healthcare. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
We
And
forget,
so
right?
I just, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about how it's going to affect the industry. And like I said, it kind of plays into another thing I wanted to talk to you about because I've had this reoccurring thing in my practice lately where there have been all of these clients that have been coming to me with problems in their close circle related to suicide, and it's been really interesting to see that pattern. I think now I've had 3 clients that have come in to receive treatment or not come in because they couldn't because there was something related to suicide and they couldn't come in. And these patterns sometimes are so interesting how they continue to present themselves.
Well, it is funny because I was just thinking about wanting to talk to you about this today. Because
We're so in sync today.
No, it's like the stars have aligned for our little banter. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. I hate it when that happens. Hallelujah, perimenopause. So it's because of the time of year, like
Yeah.
it is top of mind for me. And I also was talking with another therapist who had a client that took their life, and then also was seeing the friend of the client. And I hadn't experienced that kind of loss in my client in my practice, other
Yeah.
kinds of loss, but we take on so much from our clients, and I know that. And we bring it inside of ourselves because we care about the people that we're helping, and we've developed these really deep relationships where they feel safe enough to talk about this stuff. And I know you're really involved in suicide prevention. How do you resource yourself so that you don't fall apart or so that you don't get burnt out because it's too emotionally taxing?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard because for me, this subject, not only did I lose my brother, my uncle, I also lost my brother and a cousin in the same way. So it is an extremely triggering topic for me. And I don't know that I always do a good job with it.
Sure.
I think that sometimes these experiences that we have in our life do provide opportunities where we can help a lot of people who are experiencing similar things. But I don't know that it's always, not to the detriment of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes I'm not sure I do a great job. Other times, I just kind of have to unplug. And, I know I reached out to you when one of my clients was unable to come this week because their close friend had an attempt, and it was real heavy. So I reached out to you and burdened you with it.
I mean, I think that is a really that is such a huge piece, and sometimes we can feel like we need to hold it all inside, but and be strong, or because of confidentiality, we can't talk about these things, and you don't have to give details, but leaning on your community can really help to share the burden so it doesn't grow inside. In school right now, we're working on passion projects, and 2 of my classmates' teams are working on suicide prevention in mountain towns, and then mental health awareness directed specifically towards suicide prevention, more from an artist scope. And this is a separate group. So it's like really top of mind, like how pervasive this is in our communities, and like how many resources. So one of the like common threads through both is community and connection. Obviously, isolation is a huge part of um, kind of exacerbating these feelings of loneliness and separation, but also like resourcing for ourselves. It's just a really good reminder to like share it with your community. And if it doesn't feel right to share it with your community, maybe write it down, journal it, get it outside of your body, like all the things that you're feeling, get it outside of your mind. I know for me, if I'm just sitting with something in my head, it can take a life of its own, where it's like
Yeah.
overwhelming. And if I just
Yeah.
write it down, it's almost like it deflates all that intensity or power.
Well, and it's interesting that you talk about that, because I recently went to the organization in my town that's the suicide prevention organization. It's called REPS, Reaching Everyone Preventing Suicide. And I recently went to their annual fundraiser, and I left with this compelling need to reach out to the director, who I know well, about speaking next year. And I have, with all of these reminders of my own personal experiences that are coming up in my practice right now, I kind of have this like speech that is writing itself in my head that I have recognized I need to get on paper to,
Share.
do something productive with it, because I think that's another thing that's helped me through my own grieving process, through my own personal experiences, is finding like kind of projects to place the energy.
I think that's a great tip. Like that is, that's a great just way to approach anything heavy, is like, how can we transmute it and turn it into something that is shareable, or that is like,
or could have a positive impact,
exactly.
or could help someone else who's going through a similar situation. Or
and that's a little bit easier to do when you've gained some perspective, some space, right? Maybe that doesn't feel right when you're in it, but this time of year is like, it's really important to resource ourselves and to be a resource for our clients who may be going through a lot. The holidays are always hard. So that's a really good reminder. Okay, so I have one thing before we're done with this break room banter, and just to transition a little bit, I want to talk about swearing with clients.
Okay.
So I know that this is like maybe it feels like a hard left, right? But just trying to kind of like maybe take us a break from that maybe more heavy.
The heaviness of everything else we've just been chatting about.
Not that it's not important.
I'm totally cool with that.
But yeah, I know for me, like the conversation is pretty top of mind, so I need a little bit of a levity. So, okay, swearing with clients. I love to swear. Like in my personal life, I cuss a lot. I like the feeling of the words in my mouth. I like the placement of them. Like it's just something that I know that I love. In my practice, I don't swear, right? But like there's that line, and my practice is only 3 years old. So like I've developed these relationships only maybe over the course of 3 years max, right? Starting to feel kind of comfortable. And I've thrown in a swear word here or there with people where I feel like it's appropriate, but it's still this space where I'm like, oh, I don't know. Is this okay? Is this not okay? What do you think about swearing with your clients when you're talking as that barrier of professionalism to like more personal dynamic steps in? Do you swear,
what do you mean?
Do you swear with your clients?
Okay, so
that you're close with.
Okay, so this is really funny, Becca, because I also really like to swear.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels good, right?
I really do. And my son recently
Oh.
has been lecturing me
Ah.
and calling me out about swearing.
We're in that phase with Oliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
But he's really upset with me about it. And so it's interesting because I think that growing up, I was never allowed to swear.
Yeah.
Language was really, really important.
There you go.
And I know that I've had conversations with my mom over the years about how I really appreciate that about my upbringing because it has helped me in my life to be able to communicate with any type of person without having to worry that my filter is too porous.
Right.
And so I have the ability to pull it back, even though I also really enjoy swearing. I have the ability to pull it back when it's totally not appropriate. And I think that it means that I'm more well received in some audiences. So that to say, I don't typically swear in my practice, but when I have a client who I feel comfortable with, who I also feel like doesn't have a huge sensitivity to swear words, I will throw them in, but I am selective about throwing them in.
Okay, yeah.
Like to where it's like I only use them when I really think that it's gonna make the point humorous or just really add to the story. I don't want it to detract. I don't want it to become a distraction, but I might throw it in just briefly here and there.
All good tips.
One of my favorite swear words is douchebag.
Why is
But
that your favorite swear word? I'm just so curious.
Because there are some people that are just so douchey and there's just no word that describes it better than douchebag. And if someone like actually is embodying that word, like to be able to use it just feels like I'm taking back my power from some of their douchiness that they're emitting.
I love it. Okay.
It feels like I'm taking back the power of these douchebags that live out in this world that we share with them.
Okay. I agree.
So, you know, on occasion, I'll throw in some of these words and try to be selective so that it has more of an impact.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's not going to have an impact if I'm saying douchebag right and left all the time.
100%. I love the word shit. I think it's versatile and I think it just describes so much for me. It can mean thing, it can mean poop, it can mean douchebag, it can mean so much. Just with intonation and inflection, right? Like it's really flexible word. I bring this up because I have a client that I love. I love this client. I feel like they've got a great sense of humor. And I've been seeing them for like maybe 2 years. And it like the problems that they come in with, I usually see them when like things have kind of gone awry. And then we'll see each other for, very frequently. And they're big problems. And so usually it requires all of my physical energy to resolve these problems. And we always get to resolution. But we have this great banter and I feel incredibly comfortable with this person and it has slipped out. Like, God damn it. Which I think God damn it is maybe triggering for some people.
It could be for sure. Yeah.
But not for this person. I felt very comfortable. Well, it just slipped out. So, and then like, because I'm working so hard, sometimes like under my breath, it slips out a little bit. And then I ran into them in the real world. I was actually on the phone with you. And oh my gosh, I like, another topic I want to talk to you about another time is work-life balance. But I'd been working a ton and schooling a ton and all this stuff. And I said, and this person goes, hey, and I had my earbuds on. And I go, oh, hey, how's your shit? Because we had worked on some stuff. And this is the first time I've like seen them in the real world, and I haven't seen them since. And I don't.
Oh, and you're concerned that it's because you said, "How's your shit?"
Well, yeah, I'm like worried that maybe the familiarity that I had been thinking was okay was maybe not feeling okay, and then it was amplified by me being me and me not being massage therapist.
The professional
Rebecca
Yep.
in the real world. And this is the first time I've encountered that. And I think it's such a tricky situation because professional me is super different than at home, frazzled, getting groceries me.
Yeah, totally. I remember when I first started my practice here in Steamboat, I had to go to Breckenridge every so often where I could feel like I could let loose and not have to have this buttoned up persona every time I was out in the world. I feel like I've since outgrown that a little bit. I'm not in my 20s anymore, but that was big for me, was to have those opportunities where I could just not worry at all about who I was going to run into, what I was going to say, what somebody was going to think about me, because that was a big concern for me when I first started building my practice.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been in this community for a long time. And when I was like in that stint of like managing and working with having multiple jobs and working with a lot of different employers while also having, more of a position of responsibility, I was super concerned about my reputation. And it's so weird. Like now that I have my own practice, I'm like so much less concerned about I feel confident in my skin, in my professionalism. But that was like the first time where I was like, I felt like I could be me with this person, in the practice room. And then in real life, I was fully me. And I was like, oh, maybe that was too much.
But you did mention something earlier, Becca. You said that what happens with this client is that you won't see them for a while, and then
Fingers crossed, yes.
Then they have shit come up, and then you start seeing them more regularly. So, I mean, maybe you resolved their shit, and they'll be back once more stuff comes up.
They did indicate that their shit was resolved. So
so that's great. So, I mean, maybe, you shouldn't worry about it too much. I would say when they do reach out again, maybe have a conversation with them. Like, I have been feeling a little weird. Like, I just want to make sure that I didn't offend you by my language, because I've had clients who I've had conversations with how they don't want to hear any swear words.
Yes.
Like that is a huge turnoff for them. And, they don't want their children to be exposed to it. And, so I think getting back to, my upbringing and how it gave me the ability to shut it off when necessary, I'm still appreciative of that.
I agree. I mean, I was in the same boat. No swear words, no soda, no no pants, must wear dresses. and it is good to be able to like walk through all those different paths, and it gives you deeper empathy for all different experiences, so you can communicate and connect effectively. Okay, to swear or not to swear, I think maybe
we should crowdsource this. We should ask other therapists what they think.
Yeah. Do you swear in your practice, therapist?
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine some people are like, yeah, this is who I am. This is what you get. And it's part of your niche, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. No, I actually have a massage therapist friend who, I'm trying to remember the name of She was running a series, and it was a series where, because she was also a yoga practitioner, and it was where she was like helping her clients with these exercises. And it was like how to unfuck yourself or something like that.
Yeah.
And she just like fully leaned into it. And
that's branding.
You know, never censored herself. And she wasn't for everyone. And, you know, like even for me, like sometimes it felt a little bit in your face, like a lot. And I'm someone who likes it. So, I mean, you know, it's not for everyone, but.
Totally. All right. To swear or not to swear, therapists, we want to hear from you. And I think that'll wrap it up.
I think so.
All right. See you next Breakroom Banter.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. And please reach out to us if you have any questions or topics you would like covered. We love suggestions. Find us at www.alignwiththemassagebusinessmama.com. Also, we wouldn't hate it if you were inclined to share or review our episode. Until next time, stay healthy, massage therapists.